Hi, I'm Dr. Anna Clarkson, and I'm here with Parenting Behind the Behavior from the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of Extension. Today, I want to give you 3 tips for how you can select games and shows for your child, or work with your child to select those games. To remember these 3 tips, you need to remember content, context, and child. So the first thing is content. And there are a lot of ways we can look at content. You can look at rating systems, you can look at the topics of the shows. But the question I really like to ask when I'm thinking about shows or games for kids is, what values does this show or game or movie model? And do they match my values? So if friendship is really important to you, do you see friendship between kids and between adults in the show? If science is really important to you, is there an element of science in here? And which one of your values does it kind of go against? Maybe you really hate seeing siblings fighting with each other, and there's a show or a movie that your kids want to watch that has siblings that fight a lot with each other. So as you think about content, ask, does it match my values? And I want to give you permission to say no to shows or movies or games. Telling your kids that one movie or show is not allowed in your household is okay. In fact, it's really good for kids to hear why you watch or use apps or games or shows, and to maybe even talk about how your values line up with their values. You can also use tools like PBS, kids resources, or Common Sense Media to help you kind of sift through all of the resources that are out there. Second, think about context. So context is like, what's the stuff surrounding my child using this show or this game or this app? A big question to ask is my child going to do this by themselves, or are they going to do it together? For instance, doing video games with a friend can be a really wonderful bonding experience for children, or with a sibling. Whereas sometimes it can be isolating when a child is just doing that by themselves. You can also ask yourself, what is this time on this game or this screen replacing? So did my child get outside today to do some exercise and play? And now this is when my child is kind of decompressing with something that I think is matching my family values? Or is this the only thing my child has been doing today? So think about shows and games in the context of a balanced day, trying to incorporate all the things that make up for a healthy and whole day. Finally, think about your child. Different children react to things differently. So you need to ask yourself, how does my child react? And if you have multiple children, ask, how does this child react? An example of this is that, many families love to do a game or a show or a movie right before bedtime. It's a nice way to wind down. Some children are incredibly sensitive to the light from the screen, or the emotions and the excitement that's in a show or a video game. And that kind of excitement can make it so that they wake up in the middle of the night, or that they have a really hard time falling asleep. So think about, is my child better off if we do something like, art or outside play, or, even listening to audiobooks in the evening? You can also think, boy, my one child wasn't bothered at all by, exciting parts of shows, but another child really is bothered and keeps bringing it up. And so think about, how does this child react to shows and games and apps? And how can I best support this child and offer shows and games that really are a good fit for this child? So just as a reminder, when you're thinking about shows and games and apps for your child, remember content, context, and your child. I wish you well.